Hi, this is Justice. In this tutorial, I'm kind of showing something I'm learning, so it's not something that I have completely figured out, but I think it's still going to be really useful. And in this video, I'm recording a little different than normal. I am still recording in the same location, but I'm using the camera at a different angle, and I usually keep a pillow behind me. So I'm sitting up, I have a wedge pillow in my bed, a green screen in front of that, and then I use this pillow just to support my head and neck. And then I have a pillow underneath my arms so that when I'm drawing, I'm not holding my arms up. So I'm very relaxed. And then I have my laptop studio on a home built tablet stand that's attached to my nightstand, and it swings out and back. So in the last video I did this portrait. This one is done by Fuzz, and he's on Twitter. You can find him there. I'll put a link to his stuff. And this is just this is Koss from Breath of the Wild, and I like his work. I think it's very clean. So we're gonna do a 30-minute speed paint. I'm not going to speed this up. You can play this at 2x speed if you want. I might speed it up a little bit, but we'll talk through parts of it and we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with a color pick. So over here, let me turn on tooltips. I'm using the small artist pad. I have the slim one here. The small one is the one I'm actually using here. It gives me enough tools that I can do pretty much everything I want, and if I need to do anything else, I can just press this tablet mode button and expand out into all the tools. All right, so we've picked our basic black color, and we're going to do basically just kind of shapes here. We're gonna get the flow of this. After we do this, we're going to go back. And when I did the 11 drawings in about an hour, I learned a lot of different things that I think were really, really helpful. So I highly recommend that process. Let's make this a little more chesty. All right, and I'm switching between erasing and drawing, and I just have this set at 1, which is paint. Okay, so this is pretty close. I think I want a little more angle on the head. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to jump to the layer right above it, and we are going to lay in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to switch to the pencil tool, although this is really not necessary. We can just make the watercolor brush smaller. And I have water turned to 1, so let me show you this real quick. Okay, so I'm just going to press Control here, and you can see water set at 1. Okay, so we're going to go to the pencil anyway, and we're going to pick Bone Black. All right, so let's take the opacity here. Oops, we don't want that one. So we have 3 layers that we're going to be working on. This top one, and we're going to bring the opacity down on our line art. Here, our gesture one. And I'm not sure on all these terms, so if I say something wrong, feel free to correct me, and I will modify it in future videos. All right, let's see here. I'm going to use, actually, I have a pulled string pencil. No, we're going to go back here, and we're just going to use watercolors, no pencils. So just a few of these lines do I really want to get very specifically clean. All right, and the rest of these we can actually just do a little more sketchy style. Let's make this a little smaller. And what we want to do, these outside lines, we want to make sure that these connect. And I'll explain why in a little bit. Basically, we're going to be lasso selecting the outside here. These inner ones don't really matter too much. I don't want him to look too evil. I've been doing this one so fast lately that having a chance to actually slow down a little bit feels really nice. Again, these outside lines, we want to make sure that we connect all these. And again, we're not trying to be super detailed just yet. We'll go back and clean up some of these things later. just going to hold the eraser and cut in there. I think we're only going to get one of these little parcels. Looks like he's going to be a little taller than we were planning. And all we're doing is we're just holding down the eraser button, 5, and releasing, and we're going right back to painting. All right, this one needs to be over further. Again, just making sure that this outside line is all the way connected. Right, and let's get the little footies. All right, that looks pretty good. Notice right here, I've got a little gap, so I'm going to fill that in. Let's look around the outside. And let's go ahead and put in these feathers. Alright, so let's go in here and we're just going to erase these little details. Alright, that looks pretty good. All right, so here is what we're doing next. Overall, I think that shape is good. We can put these lines here, but we're gonna probably redo them after. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so we are going to open up the assist pad. And we're going to drag this right over here because we don't need it over there on the side. I'm going to select the magic wand tool, select here, then I'm going to invert it, and this looks perfect. We would use the shift plus or alt minus with the freehand lasso tool if we didn't do such a good job here, and we would cut out different things. Okay, we're going to select the layer down. We're going to fill. We're going to fill with a color from over here. Let's go ahead and choose. Let's choose this brown is fine. We're going to fill. Notice that we filled the wrong layer. Okay, so let's go down one more and fill right here. Ooh, very nice. Okay, before we do that, let's actually use this alt minus and freehand tool, and let's zoom in here and let's cut this out. Okay, we have to select freehand without alt being selected. So just gonna cut this little section out. Okay, now when we fill, we have a really great fill in order to put our color down on. Okay, so now what I'm going to show you, we're going to go and deselect this. So that's this button right here, deselect. And now when we turn on here, lock transparency, which I'm going to do from the artist pad, now I can go paint. And we can paint very, very easily on top of only the pixels that are selected. Okay, so let's bring our size up, and we're going to pick this color here, and let's have fun. Okay, now we can turn off our middle layer. Now this area right here, I'm going to lasso select, and we're going to do it a little different. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's kind of zip through this a little bit. So we can select these different these different parts here. Okay, and so the goal here actually is that we're going through and we are coloring all the same colors at the same time. And this makes sense actually to do in a direction, but we're not in that much of a rush. So I'm going to select white. And we're just going to make this whole thing right here white, and then we'll put color on top of it later. And let's put a little band here and here. So some of this makes sense to start on the color on the outside. so that when you're layering the next color over the top, you can cut in better. Like right here, this is white. So we're gonna bring the brush size down. Having this set up correctly makes this so much fun. Okay, and I'm going to show you something cool here. This green icon right here, mix color, is actually going to just pull a little bit of the color around. Sample it and mix it with the color that I had before. So this is going to take the actual color. This one, X, is going to blend the two colors together. As you can see, I can get a gray color this way, which is not what the eye is, but is pretty useful. Okay, so let's sample. Well, let's finish with white. Again, we don't have to be careful here because we already sampled this. We'll cut and clean this more later. All right, so let's do what I suggested earlier. We're going to start with this outside one. Make this look correct. We're not going to worry about this over here because we can just use 4 and push that color. All right, that's right. We're doing this color first. We're going again in order here. This is going to make this look a lot better. Okay, but I didn't do that here. Again, these outside areas we can clean up easily later, so we're not gonna worry too much about that. Let's just make some nice shapes here. And we're not worried about any of this darker shadowy area. We're gonna add our shadows later. Okay, and I didn't even get to this color in any of the speed paints I did earlier, so kind of excited to add this here. Let's fill in our oranges. Too far. And then here, again, we can just, like I said before, we can use 4 and just blend this out. Okay, that's orange everywhere. And if you have the color already on your canvas, try and get into the habit of sampling from your own work as opposed to back on the reference image. Just because it will save you time and it's a good habit. Look at that, so nice. All right, our cost is looking pretty good. One of the reasons I like this image is because it does not have a ton of different colors. All right, let's add our orangey red. We have one little gray color right in here. Let's see. This I'm actually going to use the lasso tool. Because these are kind of flowy shapes, and so I want to be able to bring this size up. We're going to choose the round fold, and we are going to make this a lot larger. Okay, so you can see what that looks like. Let's make this larger. This allows me to do a lot of pressure. And get a cleaner line there. Okay, now we're going to go through with a small orange line. And we're just going to go right on the sides of these. Let's see if we can do this. This is pretty close. We're not going to do super detailed here. Just good. It is good. All right, I think we're about done. Let's do a little bit up here. Okay, so we'll deselect that. Looks nice. And let's put our red color up here at the top. And make sure we select our soft round again. All right, now for here, we're actually going to do something slightly different. I'm going to put a little white right here. And then we're going to use number 4, and we're going to pull that out a little. And it's not in the original one, but I wanted to do that. All right, so white again. And we're not going to do a deep red. We're actually just going to do orange again. And we'll add a couple flecks of this yellow around the edge of this flower. And then we're going to use 4, and we're going to push it into the center just a little bit. And then we're going to do a little bit orange on the very tips. And we're going to do the same thing. Use 4, and we're going to push it in. And let's actually make sure we have pigments turned on for this layer. A little bit better color. All right, let's sample his eye color. And All right, so here we have some different versions of this blue. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna sample here, and then we're gonna use X to sample here. And now let's put in our little dots. All right, so this is going to be close enough for what we're doing. Let's take out a little bit of this color that's outside the lines, a few little spots. Really is amazing how good of a job this did right here. So we have this color we're going to use 4, and we're just going to push the brown in. Push the brown in instead of resampling. And this will let us clean our lines up without having to do too much actual fancy work. All right, right here, this is supposed to be a different color. It's supposed to be orange. And let's make that orange too. All right, down here in the feet area, this is same color, I think, as the eye. So let's make it that. I'm going to show you that same trick we did here at the top. We're going to do down here. In order to get this toenail color, we are going to press X and tap on the white. Look at that. Normally, I would use something like screen, or okay, I guess we're using. Well, let's use our orange up here again. I'd use something like screen or multiply to do some of this type of thing, but we're not going to do that right now. All right, so we're going to do this green pattern here, and then we're going to sample the black to get, well, that's a little too much. Okay, we're going to go green, and then single click up here on this dark one so we can make the dark pattern here. That's okay. And then this orange, and then single click on this, nope, orange, and then, oh, that's so much, why? All right, okay, well, let's not worry about it. Let's put in a little bit of line work down here. So that means we're going to actually select black, and sometimes I'll put like a little black swatch somewhere on the side so I can sample it. Okay, and let's bring this down. It's good to know what size of pencil you were using. And this is on the wrong layer, so we're going to go up to our line layer. We're going to merge these shortly anyway, but when we're doing our shadows and lights, I like having these on a separate layer. I think we actually have pretty much all of our lines in pretty much all of the right places. Okay, that was wrong though, because we see it's not matching with this one. Let's just make this one a little bit more. And let's delete this here. Let's change the angle of this because it looks weird. Okay, that's a better angle. Okay, and let's go back to our color layer. And let's fix this section. So again, we can just select 4 and push, which I think as a practice is better. These outside areas don't want to push, so we're just going to erase too much. And they don't bother me. If we have a finished piece and we've got a couple areas with color outside the lines. I actually typically, I'm not finished, but I actually like a little roughness. Okay, so this tail is the wrong color. So we're going to select, again, we're selecting this. We're not selecting that color because we're going to add our shadows. And select here. And let's push. And trim. All right, I'm going to say this is about good enough. We're going to do a tiny bit of trimming here. Okay, that's good. I don't want to do too much. All right, so let's go to our shadows. So this is going to be pretty easy. What's wrong with this section here? Some weird extra lines. Okay, we're just going to delete that one. Okay, and then here we need to push this. Okay. All right, time for shadows. So let's do one more line right here. And this, again, we'll grab that black one more time. I try and keep my line width consistent and recommend doing the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to select the marker, and I have this set to glaze. That's right here, glaze. You can see these settings real quickly. Pen tilt, pen tilt here, 15% selected there, and everything else is very, very basic. Opacity of the actual brush is going to be important. I have it at 46%. We're going to bring up the size, and we're bringing the opacity up a little bit. We're going to select this gray, and now we're going to have fun. So we want to make sure that this matches the level, and we need to do this. If I do a second pass, it's going to add a second layer of darkness, so we need to do this in one pass. Oh, we are in the wrong layer. Because I have tilt turned on, I can use these angles. That was supposed to be green. Let's make this a little bit smaller. So if you trace back over in the same stroke, it's going to not add any extra darkness. So the same stroke is going to have the same quality the whole time. All right, that looks good. We forgot to do our line work on the feet. That's okay, we can add it. Okay, I think we have almost all of our shadows. Need a little bit more refinement up here in the eye, so we're going to clean the eye up first. So let's select our watercolor brush again, select one, and then we're going to cut and delete in here. Four. It's going to allow us to shape again very easily, just pushing things out and contouring. Brightness. Get this white. Okay, and then we're going to add our shadows to the eyes as well. And if your shadow color is weird, pick a different color to start with. Like this gray may not be perfect for you. You may want to use something that's a little more brown, so you get the shadow color that you're looking for. For me, this is going to work well enough. And then let's do a little whiteness in the eyes. Just a little. Okay, and we've got some interesting extra shapes in here. Oh, I think that's from the watercolor. Okay, let's add our little feet details, and then we will be done. Okay, so we're going to sample some black. Let's go ahead and make this red. You're on the wrong layer. Back here. And we'll sample. So that looks nice. And the second pass of this same tool will add additional shadows, but I'm trying not to do too much of that. All right, I think this is good. I think this is pretty much done. There may be some extra lines in the feather here at the top would be good. Then we will finish. And the goal was for this to take roughly 30 minutes. I'm not sure where we're at. Okay, let's make this really small. And we're going to use our pulled string one. And some beautiful line. Go. And let's do this one down here. I really love that you can do pressure with that. Okay, and then let's do a couple cuts. All right, then we're going to erase. And we're going to go to our color one and erase. And right here, we're not going to erase, we're going to push that color in. All right, I think that is going to be it. Some slight differences, but pretty close. All right, if you guys have questions and you enjoyed this, then either comment or put your questions in the comment section. My hair looks awesome. And let me know what you'd like to know how to do. This was actually, it was really fun. It wasn't too fast for me, so I liked it. All right, take care. I'll see you in the next video. Also, if you stayed this long, I just enabled something called Super Thanks on my channel, and it's a way for you to say an extra big thank you for any training or tutorials or software that I put out that you want to say an extra thank you for. Don't feel any pressure, but it does help, and it does make me feel like the work I'm doing is very meaningful. All right, take care.